Is it worth saving, he says. Is it worth saving? Higher, faster, you put a bigger jet in, and you adjust the mixture accordingly. Alright, we've got my old 300 here. It just won't go. We've got good spark, so there's a few things we could look at. I'm pretty sure it's probably carburation on this. So I would like to have a look in here. She's pretty gunky and dirty in there, but the element's okay. I'll give that a good clean up first, and then strip the carburetor, probably check the valve clearances, vent on the tank. I'm going to make sure that's working properly too. Sometimes if your vent stops, and this one's, you can turn it off, it's easy bump. So there's a dirt bike one, so we're checking the vent. You get ones like that as well, the vents. And you get these little one-way valves as well, they play up as well, so you got to make sure you check, you just suck and blow through them. Don't even think I need to undo the clamps on the carburetor because it's so rusty. Think on it. Someone's been in here, no doubt. Don't know what year this is. I think they stopped them in 2000. Oh, there we go. Far out. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Look at the corrosion on that thing. The inside's still. Oh, pull the dirt out. Turn it, put a little bit of salt. Nope. Next option, flare-ups. Save the day. This is, I don't even know if I can get this cover off. She's corroded up. Yep. Throw it off. Oh, I've got a free choke, but a seized cable. One carburetor out. Look at that. Rusted old clamp. So you got a little bit of slight oil around that manifold. Just around here, so I'm going to take that out. All these bolts are all rusted. Hopefully, look at all the dirt in there, the corrosion. Is it worth saving, he says. Is it worth saving? Maybe. Blow that out. Seal that up. Alright, got a bit of oven cleaner. It's a cheap way. There's a lot of better other products out there, like under bonnet cleaners and stuff like that. But this is good for good rusty old corroded stuff. Wouldn't put it on anything which is shiny and can take the tarnish off the aluminium. Also, chucked it all over the bike. You got to watch out for some plastics it reacts with as well. But I've used it a few times and I know what it works and doesn't work. So just give it a good buff with an electric drill and the wire brush. Don't spray it inside the carburetor. Give it a water blast, blow off. You don't believe it's the same carburetor, eh? She's pretty corroded and rusted, this thing, so good acid clean. Still needs a bit of cleaning. Undo these bolts. And they're tight. And been out for a very long time. When you got old bolts like that, you just got to push as hard as you can down onto them and have a really good screwdriver. They will come. Alright, see if there's any dirt in there. If there's dirt in there, you know it hasn't been, the air cleaner hasn't been looked after. So if you can see that, see the gap in there? Yeah, that's the flat edge on it. And then you got a little bit of dirt in there. So you got to So that's really, really worn. The other thing is looking for the wear in that. Lots of wear in there. And we'll flip this out. Make sure your spring's in there. Spring's in there. Always look to see what clip it's on. Check that out. Really worn. So it needs a new carburetor needle. And it's on the middle clip, so someone hasn't been playing around with that, trying to get it running right. But new one of them, a new needle. Right, let's have a look in the bottom. What happens to the diaphragms, they cock over inside the in the housing, especially on the 350s, the Honda 350s, and then they jam, and the 500s are really bad for it too. What do we got in here? Not much dirt. They'll clean up, nice and clean inside, which is good. Always like to take the accelerator pump off, because it seems a lot of dirt gets stuck down in it. So normally they're broken. They normally crack through. That one is cracked, but see the little crack in it? But the spring sits in there. But we're just going to just give that a light blow and make sure it's clean, and we're going to put it back together as long as it's not leaking. If you're very worried about it, you replace it. It's not much dirt in there, which is good. It's actually not too bad, this. Right, pop that pin out. We could also check our float height before we pop it apart. The float height is running high, so we don't need to touch that. Also with our needle, looks like it's probably not had a long. You get a little ring around your needle, just around this little black pit, just in between. So you're looking at the needle. If you've got a little ring running around there, this one's got a slight one, but it's within spec. So we'll keep that. Just get my tools to get that out. Right, I'll just undo this. Right, that is grotty. Alright, just cleaning these. Right, this part here is called your emulsion tube. So all these little holes have got to be spotlessly clean. Inside's got to be clean. She's got to be really clean. Alright, I'm going to explain roughly how it sort of works. I've done a little diagram here. Right, so the fuel comes in here to a little float valve. Then we've got a float what sits on the fuel. And as it lifts, it shuts the valve off, and as it goes down, it will open the valve up. So it's just hooked onto this, which opens and shuts it. It will be normally up that way. So as it drops, lets the fuel in. As it shuts, it will shut the fuel off. So it's really important to have a float level, the right float level. Right, a too low float level will make it lean. A too high float level will make it too rich. So we normally set them what the manufacturers say. So that's number one. Number two is the jets. So we've got our idle jet here. This is the fuel will get sucked up here. It will come up here, and there'll be a mixer screw here. So the mixer screw is a fine adjustment we can set for idling. This is our little butterfly in our carburetor, which stops the airflow into the engine. So most of the fuel is sucked through this way. So we can adjust that. We can adjust that jet size, different jet size, and then the fine adjustment to tune it to the bike. Okay, so here we've got our main jet, which is adjustable. So we can put a bigger one and a shorter one. Say if you put a big exhaust on it, you need more fuel flow, because so you can put a slightly bigger one in. And then on our needle here, we've got an adjustment. So if we there's a series of clips what can go on there. Standard is in the middle, and then if you want to lean it up, you drop the needle down. If you want to richen it, you lift the needle up. And that needle has got a taper on it. So this needle is a wee hole in here, which that sits on there. There's a wee hole in there. This needle is like, that's open, that's closed. So more fuel, less fuel. So that's hooked onto your diaphragm. So as this opens, causes a vacuum, well, it lifts this up, and then allows the air will rush, more air will rush through, and the air comes from a bigger point, and it will hit this venturi, which is smaller, and it's designed at this point here is the lowest pressure, which draws the most vacuum. So the air will start increasing in speed, and as it gets to there, it's the fastest speed it will get because it's right in the middle of it. Causes the vacuum, will pull it through, help it pull it through. And also what helps pull it through is these little holes in here. So we'll get an airflow in here, so the fuel is mixing with air in here, and the air helps it lift because it makes it lighter, the fuel lighter, and that will help pull it through. The same in this one, in this circuit, we've got our air coming into here, and it makes it a little bit lighter, and that will help it pull through. So make sure you clean your little holes in your jets, all in here. Take the jets, you don't just clean that one, clean the whole tube and everything. So yeah, and I'll just show you how this lifts when you get air on it. So, as we give it, lifts it and shuts it. So that's a vacuum. So why they do it that way is a smoother control. So as you crack that on, it causes your vacuum, and that will come up nice and gentle. And so if you give it full, if one of these carburetors give it full throttle and it doesn't want to come in, they're jammed. So yeah, that's sort of how it all works. Hopefully that helps you. Cheers. So how you can clean these out is it's not recommended, but it's how I do it. So good old wire brush, just bend up a little bristle and just because a nice high tensile, and just poke it through and just unjam it. But if you're trying to squeeze it through too hard and sort of damage it, because it is a jet, so it's designed to spray a nice pattern. So the best way is just getting a new one and just put it in, and then it's fixed. But like, you know, sometimes it just needs a wee clean out. So you can soak them in carburetor cleaner and do bits and pieces like that to try and get out and blow them out, sort of without scratching the inside. But there's a couple of little ways. But right, our needle. Obviously we've got a lot of wear here. That's where it's been sort of chafing backwards and forwards. Also, we're looking for wear along on this bit here. There's a slight bit of wear there. There's some marks. It's got a slight bend in it too, so that slight bend in it might help. They didn't replace this bit because that's really worn. You see the big oval in there, so it's just been chafing backwards and forwards, and stuffed it. So this carburetor's not looking too bad. Mixture screw. So mixture screw there. So we need to count the turns in, if we can move it. Most of them seize up when they're old like this. No, I'm not going to move that, and they're easy to break these. So I'll just put a bigger screwdriver on it. If I think I'm going to break it, I'm just going to leave it. Might have to put a little bit of heat into it. There's actually, you can see the dirt coming out of the threads there. See there? As I sort of work it backwards and forwards really gently. Right, I just managed to get this out. Believe it or not, look how dirty it is. It's well and truly seized in there. Nice and grotty down there. Disgusting. So the trick was, I tried to undo it, work it backwards and forwards, but I wrecked the end of the head. So I've just re-slotted that out with a hacksaw. Now I just put a wee bit of heat on it and just sort of warmed it up really gently. Managed to get it going. It's a little bit of heat. It's ideal. Alright, got my carby back together. I've had some, when I do a carburetor kit, I keep old bits and pieces, whatever I don't use. So I managed to put some new bits in there. New mixer screw. Just gave all the jets a good clean up. So, and I had a new diaphragm as well sitting in the shed. Voila. So, and I've got a second-hand one, a good second-hand one as well for a spare. So, back in the four-wheeler. See how she runs. Manifold O-ring. Should always replace them. Nice new fresh one. So pop that out, put a new one in. Right, I've got it going, but she doesn't sound that blast because I put the wrong needle in it. So I've got to get a new needle for it, bring it back into tune. But this is all up now. I'm just going to head down the beach. Don't forget to do this. Thanks for watching. See ya.